Oh yeah.
You know? Myth, words, ideas. Superman is an idea. He symbolises something. He represents something. But when you analyse the idea a bit deeper, you realise some of the concepts he's presenting are fascist or so above man that he actually really he's not empathising with humanity the way you would think he would, considering he's got his parents and all the rest of it. If not, you know, in some ways, his Earth parents, from our point of view, would make better parents than his Kryptonian parents. You understand?
Why?
Because human beings have emotion and Kryptonians don't have emotion. He would have like not cared. So basically, if he had come to planet Earth as an adult,
was an emotionless act.
No, actually, because that was probably their only emotional thing that they did. That's written about. That's written about.
It's funny though. We've got to move on from that conversation. It's a bit silly. Real world it for a bit.
Well, I'm trying to. I'm just using it as a metaphor to explain why we also end up in these similar problems. All right, Jarrell. He represented the kind of man that cared about things in a society which traditionally they didn't care. Yeah? So he in himself was like the first Superman. And he gave birth then to another type of Superman, which is an improvement on the original idea. It was a man with the idea of justice who could now follow through because he had these absolute powers and he had no material needs. Great. That's a noble suggestion just put together like that. That's like the Uberman, innit? That's why Hitler was able to say, "Oh yeah, the blonde hair, blue eyed. That's the perfect model," and everyone would say, "Oh yeah, can't find any flaws in it, so it must be right."
No,
but once you start to look at something a little bit deeper, you realise there are flaws, and sometimes they're not even flaws. Sometimes it's just the way we think about something, and we can improve upon it ever so slightly. And then being improved is going to be better than what it was previously. We're trying to improve society, we're trying to improve ourselves. And we can only do that through lessons, through knowing what life is. Some people don't have a lot of experience. They don't experience life. They've never been anywhere, they've never done anything, so they don't know. Life is so much different outside this country. At least you're like me. You've been to another country, you've seen life there, you've seen how people live, and you realise, hey, this isn't the only way to be. And in fact, some of the most basic of problems in life are the ones that are truly worthwhile solving and are solvable. So while Superman's going around in the comics, you know, spending a majority of his time destroying buildings, why can't he ever look at the roots of crime? You know, because really that presents the idea to the masses that the elite The rich people could be wrong. Oh, God forbid. But we know they are wrong. We know that they're in a state of wrongness.
What? So you're saying that the common people are all right in their assertions?
Oh, no. No, I'm not saying that at all.
So you're.
But I'm saying, given the fact that
yourself are taking an elitist approach, then, aren't you?
Oh, you can look at it like that. Hence, we have to look at it like that, because if we're going to solve the problem, we have to look at it.
Solve the problem. So
If we,
because
it's all of us.
General humanity, or
All of us, them included.
We the intelligentsia.
No, all of us together. Because what we need to do is it's like safety. You know, keep people safe, but not to the point where you're taking away people's freedoms.
Right, that's Superman then. I'm not going to impose my will on these people. I will just protect them from themselves.
No.
I will catch them.
You can't protect people from themselves by just going around and manhandling, physically objectifying things. It's about teaching the people the correct lessons.
People find their own way.
Well, yeah, and that's why we can't fight.
Saving without judgment is something which maybe an Ubermensch can do in a philosophical way. Forgive them, for they know not what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Save them, because they're walking around deaf, dumb, blind, and very, very weak. In what sense? Not just a physical sense. In terms of.
Well, here's Christ's big difference between all these other superheroes. He says, "Turn the other cheek," doesn't he? He doesn't punch them. He turns the other cheek. He doesn't even fight.
If you slap it, you're gonna hurt your hand on the super tough jawbone.
He is the only superhero or mythical character or whatever you know, and the only story then where his method of dealing with the enemy, is to forgive them. Okay, if they hurt him, is not to seek retaliation. You know, these are concepts that, like, wow, think about that for a minute. I mean, all right, some people are saying right now, listen, these people are so bad and wicked, they deserve and justice and all the rest of it. Yeah, and yeah, on one side, you're going to say yes, of course, and especially if there's the mob. You know, this is where the mob mentality, oh, crucify him, Lord. You know, let he without sin cast the first stone. Nobody sees himself with any sin ever. That's the biggest problem with us. Nobody's ever committed a sin. Nobody's ever been wrong, because today they're right, you know, and therefore we don't want to think about when we was wrong. It's one of those things like if you make a mistake and you start cringing, you think, "Hell, did I do that?" Like me as a musician when I'm playing and I made a mistake, I played the wrong note, I'm gonna die, and the earth will swallow you up and you just feel bad. Nobody wants to revisit that, but then from a technical point of view, here's your technical point, the brain creates chemicals that says if you have a feeling like that, you don't want that feeling, so you will intensify the way you feel about something much beyond, you know, what actually really happened, so that you don't do that again. Which is why negative emotions has such a powerful effect as opposed to positive emotions. And we don't spend enough time in society reinforcing positive ideas and positive emotions. I mean, Superman would literally be very boring if he went round like Jesus Christ, just forgiving everybody. But then, on the everyday point of view, most of the villains he would be facing, if it was a real world thing, would just be normal people, wouldn't have superpowers, so what's the threat? That kind of Superman in the real world, the one-off Superman, he wouldn't worry about anything, would he? He'd just be walking around just chilling like, yeah, you're committing a crime, you're going to put it back. Well, yeah.
Mary, you were just a boy. There's nothing you could have done.
And then, yeah, you're watching, you know, and it's all super things that they've got to deal with.
I could have saved her.
The wisdom.
What about
The
serenity?
courage.
Something I can't change.
Serenity to accept the things.
Accept the things you can't change, that sort of thing. There's a few lines to it, isn't there?
Well, I'm saying right now there's probably a need for role models real tangible role models, things that people can actually do, because we can't run at super speed, we can't fly, we don't got a Batmobile, and the problems can't actually be solved with explosions.
But you can take a stand.
Yeah, the stand we have to take is with the idea. Superman itself is a powerful idea, and we need ideas that are just as powerful, that can transcend everybody.
The same, just seek to do that which is right. Or what's right. Depends on the circumstances.
Well, that's why, again, using Jesus Christ.
Do the best you can.
Jesus Christ is unique amongst all the superheroes, isn't he? So if someone should be representing somebody in the real human world, something you can do, take away all the other stuff and let's bring it into reality. Yeah? Because that I will believe in. Otherwise, it's just not possible for humans to do, and they'll kind of switch off. They'll be like, yeah, he's super, he can do it, we'll just leave it to him. We'll leave it to government, because they've got all the power, haven't they? They've got all the money and the power, so I'll leave all the problem solving to government. I'm just going to get on with my life. And that's what people have done, and that's why the world actually really needs people, who are bigger than that. Supermen, yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, again, not to mean the above men, but with men working for men. They're just great people, fantastic people, real everyday people who help people.
Abnegation.
Abnegation.
Have you seen Divergent?
Remind me. I've seen it, but remind me, because there's things in the book.
Okay, so we're talking about a division into society into 5 factions, which together are meant to produce some sort of harmonious whole.
Right, that's New World Order speak.
So it's pretty much. So you've got Amity, which is like the friendly group. They're into counselling and that sort of social outreach. We've got
you got the ones that think, the thinkers, the legal people, the scientific people.
You've got the enforcers.
The enforcers, who are also the action people.
Yeah.
Which is still class.
And abnegation.
It's still class war.
Kind of like a Mormon type group.
The one thing they won't have the superheroes face, which some of the greater superheroes like Christ face, is class war. The idea of rich and poor, the idea of this human being who's the same like you. He's not actually like these people. The Flash, he's got superpowers. He's not. In fact, in some cases, if you was to measure them, they're probably dweeby little people with absolutely no talent for anything. They just happen to have money. What is their talent? People say, people with no talent just are thieves or criminals or whatever, or liars. What talent do they possess in the real world? But we've got this class war going on, haven't we?